Hello, dear friends, with you Nayo. Today, we are going to consider the update of the Alexis Pug fashion, which is called fish business, which if translated literally, sounds like a fish business. But in fact, this expression means, so to speak, a business with a smell, that is, some kind of not quite legal scam. So, fish update. It is fishy, not because there were no fish before, but because in this update, fish are the only new creatures. They added as many as 4 pieces, and with them, of course, new items and even new glasses. Well, we'll probably start from the end, namely with the latest and very strange fish, which in Russian translation is called a bonefish. The bonefish is actually an undead fish, and it looks like a skeleton swordfish. You can meet her in the dark depths of the sea, near the wreckage of ships, where she guards her territory. These fish remains are extremely aggressive, and will attack the player as soon as they notice. But besides the fish players, bones are aggressive towards dolphins, and dolphins accordingly dislike them. However, dolphins have little chance, because the undead fish are much stronger. Sometimes a drowned person can sit astride a bone fish, which makes it even more dangerous. Also, sometimes there are bonefish with a fragment of a flag on the dorsal fin, and it seems like this flag is supposed to depict a shocker and crossed bones, but to be honest, both are impossible to distinguish on these rags. It is extremely difficult to fight with a dead fish, because its movements are very fast and unpredictable. It has a fairly large attack radius. It is sharp and causes quite noticeable damage. Without armor, she can take you out in 3 strikes. The bonefish can pierce the victim with its sword-shaped nose or chop it by shaking its head from side to side. Unlike many other representatives of the undead, the bonefish does not burn in the sun. Moreover, if you somehow lure her to land, then she does not care, because she does not suffocate without water, which is actually very logical, because she is already dead. Her health is 15 hearts, that is 30 units. After death, this fish can drop ordinary vanilla bones as a drop, and with a rare chance, its skull or fish bones. The skull can be used as a weapon, and although the damage from it is small, only 4.5 units, but a very good attack speed is as much as 4 units. In addition, this skull can be blocked as a shield. You can also take it in your left hand. Then you will not be able to beat her, but you will be able to block, carry out attacks with some more powerful weapon that you take in the leading hand, for example, with a non-granite sword or an axe. There are several points connected with the fish bone at once, for which you need to meet the fish bone, get its skull, get its bones, and also you can get this rare cap. But keep in mind that the chance of it falling out is extremely small. Even in creative mode, I had to kill a whole bunch of undead fish before I got it. This cap gives only 2 pieces of armor, but it looks pretty funny. By the way, it is a reference to one of the series about SpongeBob, where Mr. Krabs stole a rare cap from a bonefish. But in addition to these 4 points, there are 2 more that are indirectly related to the bonefish and directly to the next type of fish, namely the devil carp. The devil's carp is an extremely rare species of fish that lives in one single place in the whole world, or rather, in a cave lake called Devil's Hall or Devil's Hole, if you translate this name into Russian. This lake is located in Nevada, in the Death Valley National Park. Despite the formidable name, these fish are very small and feed on algae. And like real devilish carpenters, carpenters from the mod also live in one single chunk in the entire Minecraft world, in an underground lake. And in order to find them, you will have to craft a special device called a strange fish finder, which by the way is one of the 2 points already mentioned. To craft it, you need an echo sounder and as many as 4 fish bones. This seeker is not infinite. It is slowly being consumed, but not too quickly. When you hold it in your hand and right-click it, it emits waves in the form of arrows in the direction of the chunk with carp teeth. So you can easily find the right place. As you understand, the most difficult part in finding fish is the creation of the search device itself, with its bunch of hard-to-extract elements. You can rake these simple fish into buckets and take them with you. And by the way, catching a carp tooth in a bucket is the second point associated with this fish. Despite their low-key appearance, these fish are very interesting. First of all, they will create movement in your aquarium because they like to play chasing each other. And secondly, this is the most important thing, they can pick at mossy blocks in search of food for themselves, and at the same time, they can pick out slugs that will then float to the surface. At the same time, the suede from the blocks does not disappear, so with the help of devilish Carpozubiks, you can easily make a slug farm. These fish reproduce by themselves, and quite quickly. So for a start, it will be enough for you to bring a couple of things. However, they necessarily need mossy blocks for food, otherwise they will not be able to reproduce. Carpenters have very little health, only 1 heart, and there is no point in killing them because they do not drop anything useful. The next fish from this update is a flying fish. It occurs quite often in temperate oceans and is food for dolphins and seals. These fish are very cute in appearance, and there are several colors that differ from each other. So far, there are 3 of them, pure blue, with pink fins, and with bright black and yellow fins. The most fun thing about these fish is that they are really able to jump out of the water and plan over the water surface for a while. If you want to get such fish for your aquarium, you will be able to catch them with a bucket of water. But your aquarium should be closed, of course, because the fish can easily jump out of it, and it's not a fact that they will be able to get back into the water. And from a long stay on land, they can drown. They have more health than carp teeth, but still only 3 hearts are not enough. After death, they drop their own carcass of flying fish and bone meal. Flying fish can be eaten raw. It restores something about 1½ bones of hunger, but it will not work to fry or cook it in any other way. But in fact, it has a better use. From 2 flying fish and 2 threads, you can craft these flying fish shoes. They will add very little armor to you, just 1 unit, but they will slightly increase your swimming speed. But the most important thing is that in these shoes, you will be able to jump out of the water like a flying fish. Compare this. This is how you jump out of the water when you don't have shoes on, and this is how you do when you are wearing them. That is, in shoes, you can, as it were, hover above the water for a second. But this effect can be improved if you put on leaders. Then you will generally be able to fly over the water for quite a long distance. Well, the last fish from this update is a catfish. Catfish is a 3-in-1 fish because the most come across 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. There are the most in rivers and swamps, but the biggest ones you can meet exclusively in swamps. As you can see, a small catfish, small only in name and relative to other catfish. In fact, it's bigger than any vanilla fish. Well, a large catfish, and in general almost the size of a crocodile. The little catfish has 5 hearts of health, the average one has 7, and the big one has as many as 15, that is 30 units of life. Regardless of the size, catfish do not attack players. All of them, after death, drop the meat itself, which can be eaten. Raw, it will restore you 1 bone of hunger, and fried somewhere 2½. However, the value of catfish from a puddle was not suspected in this at all. First of all, ahead of your question, Yes, you can take them with a bucket to your aquarium, and even that big one, which is the size of a crocodile. By the way, to lure yourself, you can use a sea lantern. If you hold it in your hand, it will swim up to ye. But their most important feature is that they have their own inventory. At the same time, the small Sama has 3 inventory slots, and the average one has as many as 9. That is, the middle one itself fits as many as 9 stacks of objects, so it can be used as such a mini shocker. As for the huge catfish, it has only one place in the inventory, but it is intended for mobs. Yes, you heard right. A large catfish is able to swallow a whole mob, but only on condition that it is not higher than 1 block in height. That is, in fact, a huge sum is able to swallow even a crocodile. How does the inventory itself work? It will not work to open the inventory like you open the inventory of a llama or a donkey. In order for the items of the lemon to get into itself, it must necessarily swallow them in the world. But in that case, how do we get all that he ate again? Is it really necessary to kill him for this? If you hit the Sams, they will really spit out everything they ate back, including mobs, alive and healthy. But you can do without self-mutilation. Moreover, it is possible that you have already become attached to your new pet. If you have a sea cucumber, then just offer it yourself. That is, right-click on it yourself. Most can't stand sea cucumbers. They can be said to be just sick of their taste and smell, so that the contents of their stomach will immediately be outside, and the catfish will not suffer. By the way, the ones who have swallowed something or have been in a bucket will not be dyspapneia. Well, so I told you about the mobs from the latest update of the Alexis Pug fashion. By the way, in addition to the added new fish, a whole bunch of different tank fixes were added to the mod, which however will not be very interesting to you. But what you will definitely like is the new models and textures for the plantain cuckoo, crocodile, and firebird. New particles and visual effects of attacking the undead have also been made for the firebird. And now it's time to share your personal impressions about fashion. In my opinion, the most useful in this update are catfish and flying fish. The ability to transport mobs in such a non-standard way is truly a very unusual solution. Flying fish boots will also be extremely useful, but for some reason, carp teeth have sunk into my soul for some reason. It seems like very simple, nondescript fish, but there is something in them that makes you want to look for this unique chang in the whole world where they live. And which fish did you like the most, my dear viewers? Be sure to share your opinion in the comments under the video. It will be very interesting to talk to you on this topic. By the way, I haven't forgotten what the next update will be. We also already know for sure because the developers held a vote. You can see the voting table now on the screen. And the update won in the end. Or to put it simply, a very scary update. Well, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And be sure to click on the Lycosic, because I tried very hard. And that's it for today. See you soon. Bye bye.